for having me again. It's just so kind of you, your sustained attention to my work. You've had me 3 times now, and I don't think anybody else has. That's incredibly kind of you. And thank you for that beautiful introduction. And it's lovely to hear Evan and Laura today, and Adam. Spooky folk is one of my favourite genres, both in music and in poetry, so that was absolutely brilliant. I'm going to read a poem that isn't mine first. With your permission, I'm going to read a poem by a very young Ukrainian poet called Artur Dron. So I've been involved with some translations of Ukrainian poetry with the University of Exeter. This was our first volume. Yantar is a lovely press, but it's quite a small one, so I like to give it little readings, if that's all right. So I'm going to read you a poem by Artur Dron called Prayer. Prayer. With the swimmers swim, with the travellers travel, as they say in church. With the one who was raped and is expecting a child, breathe, breathe, breathe. With the child whose hair has gone grey, prepare a backpack for school. With the frostbitten, freeze. With the shell-shocked, vomit in the trench. With the tank commander who's been missing since October, be found, be pieced together from scattered body parts. Consecrated particles, as they say in church. And also be with the one who eats pot noodles with cold water, with the one who was captured but will never talk, with the one who was conceived but didn't get born, and be with the one who didn't get to give birth. And also be with the 2 girls somewhere in the Rivne region. Do you remember? We were driving to the east in a convoy, and they stood watching at the roadside and put their hands on their hearts. And then I understood everything. Thank you. So that's Artur Dron. He's very close to my heart. He was in his early 20s when he wrote that book. He's only 25 now, so he is definitely one to watch. So on to some dark folk. I'm going to read you a little kind of backstory for a dialect name, Jenny Greenteeth, which is a name for the kind of weed that grows on ponds, and it looks like you can walk on it. So it has a dialect named Jenny Greenteeth, associated with a water witch who was basically invented to scare children away from the water so that they don't step on it and fall in. This is her little story. Jenny Greenteeth, her rotted jaw, the slime of it. Swell-faced, abscessed, eats her food stewed to mush. Never had a sweetheart walk her out. No one wants to kiss that mouth. Slides through the village, with her shawl clutched tight, like a filthy, ropey web. Keeps to the shadow of the wall. Some witches don't need a ducking stool. Some witches wade in and lay themselves down with a pocket full of stones. But nobody saw Jenny Greenteeth drown. No one noticed she was gone, till the mill pond turned foul, and her body rose, buoyed by its own gas, rose by the mill where we grind our yellow corn, and we felt that rank contamination, the loneliness and desecration of Jenny Greenteeth, the one whose sinning ma we starved and shunned when no one came to claim her hand. So her bump grew small, and she spawned this malformed girl with spindle bones, and called her Jenny. Her teeth came soft and green, her hunger walking her through the village once her ma was gone, asking for a bowl of gruel? Who has failed to see her there, like an empty cup, begging to be filled? And what did we fill her with, this little jug, this girl-shaped pitcher? What did we fill her with but hunger and neglect and how to be cruel? And it's too late to be sorry now. Though we're sorry now, she calls our children to the water and holds them down. So the next poem I'm going to read is in the voice of Matthew Hopkins, who, as some of you know, appointed himself Witchfinder General during the English Civil War and set out to persecute women. His book, The Discovery of Witches, takes the form of a query and answer, and it's refuting scepticism, but he kind of, I don't know what the word is for giving evidence against yourself, but that's what he does. He gives lots of evidence about his practices and what he's done to these women, who he calls my delicate firebrand darlings, which I didn't manage to get into the poem, unfortunately. Matthew Hopkins, Persecutor. I met with the devil, and I took his book. Prince of the air, he enters my body and speaks. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. He profits me gold coin, a feather bed, my piled up trencher. The church will pay a killing for a witch. Let me uncase myself. Poor silly creatures will say anything at all if you examine them close. The woman found with teats, then sequestered from her house and kept from sleep, extraordinarily walked till her feet bleed, is ripe to confess. Hallucinations clot in the dark webbing of her brain and condense in the thickened air, petty, dull, homespun. You must augment them with your own invention. Put a word in her mouth, wring it out. Heave her into water, tied thumb to foot. If she float, tell her even the water does not want her, unconsecrated filth. Soon she'll peach anyone she's ever met as a witch, and you may bring them in, the old wives and crones, with their excrescences and lesions and rets, their hemorrhoids from childbirth, their incontinence rags, all the evidence you need in this, our holy purge, to see them burn. I'm going to read you something gentler next. So this is the 17th century physician, Nicholas Culpeper. I'm very fond of him. He, as most of you know, he put a lot of herbal remedies into a compendium in order to make hedge medicine available to everybody. There's a little aside about his own family when he writes about the herb mallow. Culpeper on mallow. Not long since, myself being away, my son was taken with the bloody flux, laid to waste by this inside plague. The excoriation of his bowels, exceeding sharp, bleeding hard and like to die. I came home as soon as I could. The only thing I gave him, mallow, boiled in milk, poured into his mouth, sip by sip. In 2 days, he was healed. Thank God, thank God. I thought him gone, and myself, love's creature, utterly undone. There's a little section in this book of familiars. It's got some creatures in it. My favourite of these creatures is the beaver, which I got to go and watch chomping away on riverweed, because it's been reintroduced to a river in Devon called the River Otter. And the River Otter does have otters on it, but I hasten to add that they don't mind, because beavers are actually vegetarians, so they don't compete for food. And they are very lovely. I'm going to read you a poem that's in two parts. The first part describes the beaver's extinction. It's got some tricky words in it, which include castoreum, which some of you may know, but it's the scent gland, which beavers were kind of hunted for because it was used in perfume. And it also refers to the fact that you were allowed to eat beavers during Lent because they were classified as fish. I think that's it. Beaver trial. I taught the engineer to dam and terrace and sluice. I taught the salmon to leap and the willow to shoot. 1. A short history of extinction. River rats, Coptic dogs, driven from the domains and wapentakes, hunted par force in the waterways with hounds and traps and clubs. Good money paid for their pelts, stiff hair and voluptuous underfur, the sensuous elixir of their castoreum, its scent of vanilla, chypre and plum, their paddle tails, backcountry fat, and their sweet red Lenten meat. 2p bounty paid in Bolton Percy Church for the last beaver's head. 2. Song of the Riparian Zone. Come iris, come moorgrass, come sphagnum and sedge, come watermint growing round the beaver lawn's edge. Come aspen, come willow, come gelder, come hazel, come hawker, come mayfly, come blue demoiselle, come otter, come bubble mouse, water vole and shrew, come pearl-bordered fritillary and silver-studded blue, come yellowhammer, warbler, come dipper and teal, come stoneleach, come stickleback, lamprey and eel, come spangled reed beetle, supping air through a straw. The river keeper is returned once more. My father-in-law likes that one because it rhymes. Finally made him happy. So the next poem reimagines the Bluebell Woods as a place of dark enchantment. So if I'd been really organised, I'd have got Adam to do a little shimmy of the accordion there, but you'll just have to cope with me. Bluebells. Be wary in the woods. The wet blue pools of bluebells hung with spells are a well-managed enchantment. Such doctoring is danger to a human child, so do not let your children wander. Like that boy left to wade ungoverned, who was locked in deep pockets of oak and song, fed green broth of garlic and hawthorn, and glamoured, so none could find him, though we called through the hours to bring him home. The year turned bitter before he returned, crept up to his mother's hearth, half-starved, shivering and dazed, fairy-strayed, tuned to the habits of the woods, and strange, running in his sleep with the deer. On the longest night, we went with lamps to the darkest part of the woods and left him there. I'm just going to read you 2 more poems. So the Bluebells that I just read to you, it's in a section of folk tales, which includes some very usual folk tales like Babushka. And then it also includes Patrick Swayze. I don't really know. I don't really know how he got in there, but he did. Patrick Swayze. The mums are dancing in the living room again. A little three-step to I had the time of my life. The mums are 15 again, dreaming of being baby, about to sashay up the aisle to a spotlit stage because no one puts baby in a corner. The mums are lost in a Catskills reverie, dancing with Patrick Swayze in the blue summer rain, dreaming of being a girl again, in a girl's light feet. Our lives all good, but unknown. Though really, what else could we have done? Wouldn't we still have landed here, heavier and careworn, our daughters sniggering as they passed through the room? Haven't we had the time of our lives? Haven't we danced? Haven't we swum in green lakes and shivered? Didn't we get what we wanted, to be loved? And I'm going to finish. Thank you so much for listening and for being here for us all today. I'm going to finish with a poem about spirit middens. So these were caches of old clothes or shoes that were removed from circulation, sometimes richly damaged and hidden in walls or under floorboards or above fireplaces in old houses. And they were meant to act as a decoy for the evil eye or the witch. So instead of finding your child, the witch would find some clothes that smelled like your child and would be happy with that, is the theory. It's a really interesting form of archaeology, spiritual archaeology, where you dig up kind of evidence of superstitious practices. And they found quite a lot of these caches. Spirit midden with slow worm and snake. Mother long gone, here's the cache of clothes you stuffed between the chimney stack and lath and plaster wall to divert the witch. Your son's left shoe warned the shape of his foot, his patched and grubby breeches, the baby's shift, occlusion, decoy, bait. Take this human trace, but leave my daughter, leave my son. The way when my eldest found a slow worm on the hot cobbles by the church and picked it up to put it back in the cool grass, most merciful deliverer, it dropped its tail, a small morsel, a part for the whole, an offering of meat. And when that black snake whiplashed across the steps in Italy, I threw my daughter behind me and screened her with my body. Forever after, she was cross. She never got to see the snake, that forked and shining ribbon, that venom string. How can I tell you, daughters? We are always looking for the counterspell, the correct deflection, an interruption in the air so evil cannot find you, nor sickness, nor death. Bite me in the heel, but do not take my soul. Secret here behind me, my precious girl, which makes me the spellcatcher, which makes me the witch. Thank you.